Welcome to another Books and Things with Tom. And as you know, each week I try to bring you local authors or people of interest. Not that the authors aren't of interest, but they are. And the show actually started because I was going to do a lot of local authors. But there's so many things out there and there's so many people that do things so different. My guest tonight is Toni, with an I, Leland. And Toni is a freelance writer, a photographer, a novelist, and she's been writing both fiction and nonfiction for over 25 years. Congratulations. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And she's also a member of the C Kappa group,
Yes.
SE Kappa, and which our meeting is Monday. And try to get plugged in every once in a while. So you've been writing for over 25 years.
Absolutely.
And it's mostly horses.
Well, yes. I started actually writing when I was in high school, but seriously writing for about 25 years.
Wow.
And since I was a horse-crazy nut girl, that was sort of what I drifted into, and it served me very well.
Wow. Now, I read that you really started liking horses in Egypt.
Oh, yes. That's when I fell in love with Arabians.
Oh, what
Yep.
beautiful horses.
Yeah. And they're quite different there than they are here. They don't feed them quite as well as we do here.
Yeah.
And they're just they're very, very small and very sinewy and very strong.
Hmm.
Our Arabians here are just beautiful, big, fluffy pets.
Well, as I was saying before, they down in Florida, they have a show that you go in and have dinner and watch the Arabian Nights. And they're running all over the place down there. And I was so impressed. These things are so fast, they can stop and turn. And they're beautiful horses.
They are.
And you also had Morgans.
I had Morgans, yes.
Wow.
Got one for my daughter for her birthday. Something I had always wanted as a child was a horse for Christmas.
Uh-huh.
So I had the opportunity to do this for my 13-year-old daughter, and Christmas morning, she was going to go help a friend in the barn, and I said, no, not till you do our barn chores. Oh, Mom, and I said, no, you go on out there, and so I walked out with her, and she opened the door, and she went, who moved that horse? Oh! And then she realized that it was the horse she'd been taking lessons on.
Oh,
So
really?
we bought it and brought it home, and she was in heaven. She couldn't even speak, and that's rather amazing for her.
Now, you don't have horses anymore.
No, I don't.
And how many did you have at one time?
14.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot of horses.
It's a lot of work.
And a lot of food.
Yes, I used to say I used to have money. Now I have horses.
Yeah. I had wives. But I've never ridden a horse. And that's one of my goals in life, is to, one of my bucket lists.
Bucket list, yes.
Yeah, I gotta ride a horse.
Patty will just help you right out with that.
Yeah? I'll talk to her. I just never ridden, not even when I was a kid, you know, the pony rides or anything. Actually, we didn't have pony rides when I was a kid. My brother did, but he was 7 years younger, so we got a picture of him on a pony ride. The closest I came was on a merry-go-round. But I think they're fascinating. And so you're writing books, and you also written a lot of articles. As a matter of fact, you gave me a copy here of the Knowledge magazine, and I'll let you explain what you wrote in here.
Well, I wrote this article about muscle cars, and I interviewed Tom, and he just had such great things to say. And I'll see if I can find the page. I should have marked it. He just had such great things to say about the memories of the cars that we all loved in the 50s and the 60s. And so anyway, Tom is in here, and I hope this isn't reflecting.
No,
But we got some beautiful, beautiful pictures of the cars of your heart.
I recognize some of those cars.
Yeah. And that was just a freelance article. They asked me to cover all of the car clubs in the area and car shows, and it was quite extensive, but I had a really good time researching it.
It is fun, and then you get to talk to some of these guys out there. This is a passion.
Oh, yes.
I mean, you don't even touch those cars because you lose a finger.
Yeah.
And they put a lot of time and money in there, a lot of sweat, and it's just You know, you talk to somebody who's got his old car and you go, it's now 30, 40 years old, 50 years old. How much you got it? No, what's it worth? I've got 30,000 in it. Not worth that much. But, you know, it's like having a family member.
Absolutely.
And you just keep putting the money in. It's kind of like writing books. You just keep writing them.
That's right.
And do you ever recoup your money? Yeah, maybe. But that's what we wrote. That's why we wrote. We wouldn't be writing.
That's right.
If it was just for the money. It's for the love.
Absolutely.
And reading is obviously for the love of it, too. How many books do you have out?
I have 9 titles.
9?
Published, yes.
Wow.
And they are all about horses. I have a couple of experimental books that I decided I'd see if I could write something different. And they were fine, but it wasn't my thing. And so I just said, okay, well, I did that. Now I'm going to go back to doing what I really like to do, which is these.
There's quite a few people actually write about horses.
Oh, there are. I was quite amazed when I got on Facebook in the beginning. I just couldn't believe how many authors are now starting to write stories that have horses in them and that revolve around people who are with horses or own horses and love horses.
We have a member of Kappa. She lives from the other end of the state. And she's one of the judges in the contest. What do they call them?
Horse shows?
Horse shows.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, where they ride the horses and all that stuff.
Right.
And she's a judge. And she's written a couple of books. I had them on TV.
Oh, yeah?
And she said, have you ever watched Atlantic Ice Road Truckers?
Yeah.
Have you watched that?
Yeah.
The girl on there, she is a friend of this woman, and she's got several horses.
Right.
I thought, well, you know, it doesn't mean anything. It's just useless trivia, but it's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And I read her book about, I can't remember what it was a couple of years ago. But I think horses is great. Patty Brooks writes also.
Absolutely.
Horse mysteries. And
right.
And I think of Mr. Ed. He was kind of a mystery.
Yeah, he was a mystery.
Now, this you said is this your first book?
No. That is a book that I wrote that deals with 2 very, very serious subjects, animal abuse, horse rescue, and domestic violence. Yeah. And it turned out to be probably my best-selling book for, I'm going to say, from the year after it was published right up until now.
Really?
My others sell very well, but that one really resonates with people because horse rescue is very important.
Yeah.
And it's, well, there's just not enough you can say about the people who dedicate their lives to rescuing these animals and the things people do to them so that they need rescuing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, domestic violence is another subject altogether.
Absolutely.
So I married the 2 in that book, and it has done very, very well.
I think on the internet it has a lot of these abused animals and horses and dogs and cats or whatever, mostly dogs. And it's just sickening.
It is.
If you can't take care of the animal, give it away.
Right.
Somebody will take it.
Right.
But don't do these. And horses, I mean, it's such a big animal, and they're just starving to death. I
know. Well, not too long. I'm trying to think. It was while I was writing Rescue Me, I believe, in Oklahoma. The authorities were called and found a farm with 90 horses that were basically skeletons. A lot of them were already dead, but they'd just been turned loose. Now, the thing people don't understand who aren't horse people is that the horses that we have are not wild animals. They cannot live on scrub. Yeah. They can't be turned loose to fend for themselves. They're used to being fed and taken care of, and they have evolved into animals that really on their own are not going to do well, especially, being turned out someplace in Connecticut, someplace out in the woods. What are they going to do?
Yes, no idea.
Right. They have certain instincts. They're flight animals. They can probably stay out of the way of a mountain lion, and they will eat what they can find, but they aren't going to survive.
No.
And so the horse rescues, are really a very, very important service.
Yeah.
All over the country.
Wow. I think it's obviously quite a big business out there chasing after these. And on the back of your book it says, how do you love again? And when love has been lights in a way, defiled by suspicion and brutality, obviously that's the abusive part. How do you trust again when simply surviving is all you have come to hope for? And it goes on to say, Julia Dorsey lives a life of terror, dominated by a cruel and unpredictable husband. Her only salvation is her beautiful Morgan horses. But the time comes when Julia must consider a life-altering act of courage. That sounds very interesting.
Well, it's a heart-wrenching story, but I will say that it has a happy ending.
Good.
I don't like bad endings. I just don't. Yeah, you pretty much summed it up with what was on the back.
Yeah.
It's like I say, it's not your normal horse book. And when I am at an event where I have all my horse books, of course I have lots and lots of young readers, and all of my books, except that one, are perfectly suitable for anyone 13, even 12-year-old, I would say.
Really?
They're family friendly. That one, I always, if a mother says, well, what about this one? I say, oh, that's probably not a good choice.
Yeah.
Because it starts out in a way that tells you what this woman has been through, what she's going through, and why she does what she does.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, all my books are family friendly.
Ah, well, that's cool. Now, you also did a horse directory?
Oh, yes. Years ago. I haven't done that in many, many years, but originally when I started my business, Equine Graphics Publishing, I did directories for the breeds. I did several for the Arabian Horse Association, the different regions. Mm-hmm. I worked on the Nutmeg Horse Bulletin and took that over when my friend needed a respite from it. And yeah, but that's not really writing. It's
it's
chasing advertising and compiling names and addresses.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. It's something that's needed.
Okay.
Now, which is your latest book?
My latest book is Risky Business.
Okay.
Right here. And this is the fourth book in the Kovac and Quaid mystery series. And I've just started working on book 5, although I've been really busy and I haven't gotten as much done as I want to. But now that the weather is cooling off and I'm not out in the garden, I will probably get more done on that.
I don't think anything's going to be growing in the garden after this weekend.
I don't think so either.
We're talking frost.
I know.
Freezing. Oh, Lord.
Yeah. The Kovac and Quaid series is about... Kim Kovac is a horse photographer, and she's a retired cop.
Oh.
Okay, she was injured on the job, and she took up photography. Garrett Quaid is a fraud insurance investigator, and he's a retired military guy. And the two of them meet in book 1, which is Double Exposure. And they butt heads immediately. And I always enjoyed the JAG series, the interaction between those two.
Yeah.
And more recently, the Castle series, which kind of, I always thought, oh, I can do that. And so, when I started writing Double Exposure, I wanted to have two people who were really not alike, but that the attraction was there.
Okay.
And I've teased my readers all the way through the end of book 4, and I'm starting to get some bad fan mail. Get them together already. So that's basically in a nutshell the Kovac and Quaid series are these two working together on things that happen in the horse industry: theft, embezzlement, sabotage, those kinds of things.
Well, that's cool. Now, you're also into photography.
I've been a photographer all my life.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I have a camera with me all the time.
Yeah. Of course, now with cell phones, everybody's got a camera.
Yeah. Well, I don't use a cell phone. I use real cameras.
Yeah.
I have a dumb phone that lets me make all my own mistakes.
Yeah. I got a smartphone and it's smarter than me. And that's too bad. Now, what do you sell your photographs? Or?
I have. I don't work at that. I sell a lot of them in conjunction with the articles. I very often am invited to write an article and provide photographs too. And I'm really very proud of this particular magazine. This is published by our New London Day. They do a magnificent job with their special magazines. I got to take the lighthouse tour.
Oh, really?
On the Cross Sound Ferry.
Yeah.
And she said, well, snap off some pictures. So I did, and I got a cover.
Oh, good for you.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is beautiful.
Yeah. And they used all my pictures in the article.
Wow.
So I was quite thrilled with that. And, of course, I love writing this stuff. I mean, I love travel. I love Connecticut. I love nature. I love gardening. I love horses. I love cars.
Yeah, you've covered it all.
It's easy for me to write these things, and I really enjoy it. Yeah. And my photography helps me because I'm very visual. I will take photographs even if they haven't been assigned, and I put them up so that I can look at them while I'm putting a story together.
Oh, that's nice. I just read a book similar, and it was for cancer survival. And the lady was a photographer, and she different pictures in the book, and each page tells a part of a song that was written for it. Mm-hmm. Very, very pretty photographs. Mm-hmm. My brother was a photographer. I love photographs. Mm-hmm. Me, I just take pictures. I'm not a photographer, but I take sometimes. Every once in a while, I get lucky. I don't get out of the house enough. You attended Marylhurst University. And now, where are you actually from?
I grew up in Oregon.
Oregon?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was born in Chicago, but we didn't stay in the Midwest. I was in Oregon by the time I was 5.
Oh.
So I grew up there and lived there until, I'm going to say 1980.
Really?
And then married a Navy man.
And he brought you back here?
Nope.
Oh.
No, I went around the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But with the sub base here, that's how I ended up back in Connecticut.
Yeah. And a lot of people that are in Connecticut marry Navy people, and they cross the country and they'll come back. That's good. And you have children? I
do. I have 2 daughters and 5 grandchildren.
Really?
Yes.
Good for you.
Yes.
Wow.
I didn't have a whole lot to do with the grandchildren, but I
I
do love them.
I got a call from my grandson the other day, which is rare. And it's just such a thrill to get a phone call.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it wasn't a phone call, it was a text.
I get texts all the time.
That's why I bought the smartphone, because he texts, he doesn't answer phones.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I would have never gotten into this silly thing. Because they're expensive, they're time-consuming,
mm-hmm.
and they interfere with everything. Now, you've got a special event coming up, Equine Affair, which is a huge horse trade show. Uh-huh.
And it's in Springfield, Massachusetts in November, the 12th through the 15th.
Okay.
I'm going to be signing books with Taborton Equine Books in the Better Living Center. And I will be with the New England Morgan Horse Association in whatever building they're in, and I don't know what it is yet.
Cool. And all your books are available on ebooks and print. And you can buy them at Bank Square Books in Mystic, Taborton Books in New York, mm-hmm. and Hunt country in Virginia.
Right.
And online most bestsellers. And you also have a website, Toni Leland with an I.com.
Yes.
And I'm sure you can find all kinds of information out on there.
Yep. I would like to make one more plug.
Sure.
I also write for Connecticut Horse, which is a brand new magazine, and it's available in almost every tack shop, and you can subscribe to it. It's wonderful. It's got terrific information with all the events and the farms and feature articles and photographs. It's a great magazine.
Wow. You really have to be in horses to be able to get the book, though.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be in a tack shop too soon. Although there was a little small one over near my house, and he had 2 trailers and a little tiny store.
Uh-huh.
And I never stopped in because I don't even know what to look for.
Yeah. Well, usually they have not only equipment and supplies for horses, but they'll have books and jewelry and gift type stuff, and they usually carry magazines.
Huh. One of the my guests that's on here, his father is into sells horse saddles and whatnot.
Right.
I guess that must be kind of lucrative.
Well, owning horses is not something that is cheap.
No.
I mean, it's very expensive to own them, to feed them. Even if you don't ever do anything with them, they still have to be fed and vetted and teeth floated and feet fixed and housed. And then if you decide to show, then that's a whole nother thing. And
that could be more expensive than a car.
Yeah.
Because I have a friend of mine who sells a hay, and he goes all over the state with the hay.
Right.
And just that alone is expensive, depending on how many horses you have. Yeah, this is something that you got to have a deep pocket for.
But you know what? There are millions of horse owners in this country.
Yeah.
And the very fact that, well, for instance, Quarter Horse Congress in Ohio, which will be over probably in another week, it's a 3-week horse show. It is the biggest breed show in the country.
Really?
They get 300,000 people.
Huh. Anything that's worth chasing is expensive.
Yes.
My Lions Club, that gets expensive in a small way until you get into the national, and then it's expensive. Cars, it's any kind of a hobby or passion. It just runs the old cash register right up quickly.
Right. Even photography, if you really, really wanted to get crazy.
Yeah.
Those cameras are.
I'm looking at like a $500 or $600 camera, and I'm looking at these others at $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. No.
Yeah, buy a lens for it. $500.
My brother had a Minolta and several lenses out. He's got probably 5 or 6 different lenses, maybe more. It's a big bag full. Of course, Minolta's out of business, and I think Sony takes the lenses. I think Sony bought out whatever Minolta had.
Be.
And look at that. I was like, nah, I have other things I really do need.
Right. Me too. I do very well with what I have. And, it serves me well. And,
Now, if I was going to go out and photograph for money, then you
well, because then it's an expense. Yeah. You can write it off. Well, you can anyway, but it's very hard to be a working photographer and to be selling. I mean, you have to have thousands of absolutely top-notch photographs in order to really, and you have to be good. Yeah. The good ones do very well.
And I know my brother used to sit there sometimes for days trying to get the right picture. And you don't get paid for that.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I throw away more of them than I keep.
Yeah. I got boxes home. I'm not into horses because I don't think I can afford them. I am going to try to ride one now. Now, Double Exposure is...
That was book 1.
Oh, this is book 1.
That's book 1.
Okay.
And that one involves an international theft ring.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's pretty exciting.
You get into everything.
I do.
With your horses.
I do. I do.
So we got about 5 minutes. Got anything else we'd like to discuss?
Well, you tell me.
Yeah. We have a meeting Monday night.
Okay.
Are you coming?
I'm not sure. I think my husband needs me to take him someplace since his car is broken.
Oh, that's too bad. It's going to be a very interesting meeting.
Uh-huh.
Yoga writing.
Yoga. Oh, yes. Okay.
I'm not sure what that means, but
me neither.
We're going to find out.
Are we supposed to bring our mats?
I don't know. I have been invited to the class that they're giving up in Knowledge called Yoga Writing. And it's a yoga class. And this lady is coming in to talk about putting yoga into your writing. I guess I don't know what it is. But I have been invited as a guest. I will go up there Sunday. It's on K Street in Norwich in case anybody else wants to go up there. And again, I really don't know what it's about. But we're going to find out. And our meeting, Kappa meeting, is at on Monday night at 6 o'clock, 6:30 at Best Western.
Best Western. In
Groton. And it's in the Olympic Inn. And 6:30, anybody can come. It's free. And it's amazing what you learn at our meetings. Sometimes I learn I should have stayed home.
Like last time.
Yeah. But they're fun, very interesting, and it's all authors and publishers, and we try to get people of interest to come
It's
down
a very
and talk.
good group. It's a very good group.
It is. It's a close group.
Yes.
Which is what I really like about them.
And I think one of the nicest things about this group is you don't have to have an affiliation with a national organization.
No.
So many of the writing clubs, like the mystery writers and the romance writers, you can't join a chapter unless you are a member in good standing of the national show.
Really?
And that puts it into the fairly expensive realm because you don't really get to do that much with the national group, but you have to pay the dues. And then you pay the dues of the local chapter.
Yeah.
But I think Kappa is just outstanding because it's, you've got everybody and it's...
And the nice part is we could care less if you're just writing a book or even thinking about writing a book.
Right,
Come on in.
Right.
And and it's a great place to learn because if you're just writing a saying, what do I do next? You go in there and you find out we all started the same way.
Yeah.
And nobody's afraid of telling anybody and helping anybody, which is great.
Well, I got my start with a romance chapter in Ohio.
Oh, yeah?
Because it was what was available.
Yeah.
And it was the best couple of years I ever spent.
Yeah.
Because I learned a lot of really good things, but I wasn't a romance writer and I wanted to do my thing. I wanted to write mysteries. I wanted to write romantic suspense, which this is romantic suspense right here, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
It's,
That's
like I
cool.
said, it has a happy ending.
But anyway, that's Monday night. Come on down. See what we're about. It's on the second floor in the building. And this is going to be a very interesting night. I love it when I hear something I have no idea what it's about.
Yeah.
Because usually I know what it is. But this will be fun. And then for Christmas, I've got a location. We have our Christmas meeting at a member's house. And then I can't believe we got November, December.
Yeah.
And now he's telling me we only got a minute left. Anyway, come to the meeting. It's a great time. You meet usually about 30 people there. And everybody has a different background. Everybody has a different position in writing. We have publishers. We have available editors, and just about every aspect is there. Anyway, fall is here. It's getting colder. It's going to be freezing this weekend. And they say it's going to be frost one of the nights. And then we're going to be down to 40 degrees, I think, on Friday. During the day.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
I think Sunday wee hours of the morning is when it's going to dip really low. Yeah.
Ah, boy, glad I can close the doors and the windows. Anyway, you should cuddle up with a good book. And I'll see you next week. Yeah, this would be a good book to cuddle up with.
It's a good one.